early commitments as soon as the high tide comes up. So already 4-man stacked, looking to receive this hit.
Yeah, Andrew Thieves have read this really, really well. Keeping Xander all the way on green, and he's okay right now. 1-1 apiece so far. The trades favor MIBR.
Ooh, how about that from Cortezia? Already off the 3. I was about to say, interesting little anecdote in there talking about how does 100 Thieves want to try to challenge MIBR. They're not going for the early dizzy. They try to use that as a way to contest as the execute gets onto site. Doesn't fully work out though. So now Xander by himself, 1v4. It's already been tagged down to half HP. Artisan right there to follow up, no problems. And MIBR, I think honestly, oh, hold on a second. Save that thought for a moment as Sentry Turret and Xander assisting. Will actually find a first blood onto Zenom through mid-tube. Cortezia is still in position to try to challenge us as the Aldrin comes out. Cryo trying to hang a little bit longer, but doesn't get a chance to pull the trigger. On the next corner, also just before the Toxic Strain goes up, finds not just one, but a second. And now you look to Cortezia to try to do something here at mid-kitchen if they're going to open up any space to work with at all. Spike still down, mind you, as well.
MIBR not really finding success any part of the maps, and I'm not expecting the secondary play, but Cortezia get the shot. He will. Busio down. It's within a 2 to 4, but numbers still not fantastic. Cutting out a little bit of noise at this point, but 100 Thieves have plenty of members to be able to split this one properly. A 2-1-1. As a Spike will make its way through to mid. EO caching Cortezia, though, will basically call for the entire round, and how much more that Verno can do here, I think.
No, probably not. Opportunity onto EU, but time is going to run out on this round, so 100 Thieves able to respond defensively. And I think the biggest part about this is that opening first blood through tube is definitely significant in terms of being able to give yourself a little bit more sanctuary through mid-map. You don't have to worry about any lingering plays towards B, but by one of those bursts, Auspice trying to make his way over. Does he find any angles at anything? The Dizzy doesn't really do too much to deter this play. You do have the Thrash as a way to counter, though. 100 Thieves will commit that immediately. Chaos all over the backside of the A side as this high tide is the only thing really separating these two teams, and as that falls, now here comes 100 Thieves trying to reach out this over from the back. Do they get the good reveal to try to work their way back in? The Cove is keeping this play safe largely, but 100 Thieves do have the crossfire set up, and every single one of the gunfights goes through for 100 Thieves. Cortezia with the lockdown, though, somehow gets 3 until finally the push through for 100 Thieves. Maybe a little while longer. Can Cryo connect onto something? Tried for it, but has to dash away. Does see Auspice playing over towards the backside, and look at that shot from Cryo. Takes off the head of Artson, and that's a huge elimination. The Harbor no longer a part of this post plan, and we got a 5v4.
Shot onto Artisan, I believe, as he's planting as well, so absolutely amazing coming through from Cryo. Not going to be part of the post plant. Notably here, this is, by the way, Cortezia's second lockdown so far on this attack. Here comes the retake.
On Hunter's Fury from the offensive side does not stop this retake attempt jumping into sight. So now the wingman can get to work on the defuse. Someone's gonna have to challenge this. They see Zenom up top on the rafters. There's just nowhere for him to go. EU's gonna block the exit. Unless the gunfight comes out, Zenom will likely lose his life, and well, he does win that 1v1, but regardless.
Taking down Zenom. The shooting gallery on A. First contact, Busio falls.
And now you've got all of mid-map controlled. Knives are going to come out for the defense, plus you have the Thrash trying to shut down this play early in towards mid-2, but is there any sort of a pinch setup to try to work on this? Xander with the snake bite available, almost able to line up a couple, but instead comes away with absolutely nothing. EU with 1 trade. We have the 4v3 available, and the spike being planted will put pressure on 100 Thieves and try to find a way to regain.
Just gives MIBR so much confidence, taking down Busio first, Killjoy utility gone. Xander needed a kill there. Looked like he even had a potential lineup reckoning to secure this.
Whoa, but Auspice is not seen by the Thrash. Oh, but he misses all the bullets. Cryo, a huge shot. Maybe a chance to clear, but you've got to get deep over towards green and simultaneously clear off yellow. A tall task. Knives are still ready to go if Cryo can find an angle. You don't have to worry about the spike, and Cortezia will find the elimination that will likely put this round out of question. EU, not a lot of time. Too many angles he has to check. And we're going to end the first half 6-6. What a back and forth affair. 4-4 for each of these two teams. Well, the staging is set for a burst on towards A. Opening for Artisan, so good, but immediately traded back for 100 Thieves. Easy to the 3v3. Cortezia, though, watching the cross of the Sheriff connects on Asuda, so the numbers advantage will still live with MIBR's defense, and Auspice is making his way over. and going to make sure there is no rotation back on this deep post plant. So as long as MIBR can stay alive in the front, they should be able to get a natural pinch on this.
Yeah, Aspas is getting there so quickly right now as well. This is going to be really decent for the retake. Bushio into the corner. Artisan, by the way, getting the 2, making sure that minimum on site, him and the other defender with Verno, they were going to be able to trade effectively. Bushio knows that the potential for a second play could be there. They know both players are underneath, and Aspas finding the timing. Active with only a pistol, but trusting the star carry player to be able to get some shots in, but not this time. As Cryo still looking strong for the previous round. Shut Aspas down.
Shut him. Okay, good timing there. Dizzy does affect him, but not before the elimination comes out. Artisan also able to connect one more. So it's just down to what exactly 100 Thieves can find on the backside of Yellow, and Cryo has provided for 3. 3v2 situation. Xander is tremendously low on health, though, and any of these shock darts, if they land, would put him out of commission. Wingman getting to work for the plant. The spam, not enough to take him out of the picture. So the post-plant setup for 100 Thieves will still live on the backside of Yellow.
Xander is low HP, though, but the shock darts are gone. You're looking at Verno trying to buy time for Artisan to come on through. High Tide has got to buy some more space, but can they get the frags? Artisan recovers one of the Guardians, I believe. As the Vandalo potentially is still stuck on Yellow here. They do have reasonable weaponry to play through. High Tide falls.
Whoa. And Artisan's able to find one very quickly. That was on the low health pool of Xander, though.
One enemy remaining.
And this little re-wrap from Cryo works out nicely. Artisan just gonna have to snap and find the defuse, but no, not gonna happen. It's all 5 for Cryo. Huge pop-off in the anti-eco.
Full confidence. It's going to be an A finish, which it is likely to be. So all 5 here, no excuses, reckoning in hand.
And dude, at the back, reckoning with these guys. Way to try to counteract this, but Bruno's still the first one to fall. Cortezia with one of the response. Pinstrike goes to the kill feed with 3v3, but Spike gets planted. Artisan, whoa, whiffs. EU is dead to rights, doesn't fully connect, so now it's just down to Zen and Auspice. And they provide down from a 2v3 to the 1v2. EU low on HP, has a Hunter's Fury, but reload timing. They have catched one on the reload, not fully able to connect on the kill, and now you can back up. You've got low health pools. Do you have the right angles? Ah, first shock dart, not good. This one, at least able to pull Zen him off, but he can get it to halfway and easily finish with Auspice guarding. Battle maybe underfolding. We'll see. Hit is moving over towards Yellow. Cortezia behind the cover of the offensive toxic screen will get over towards Snowman. But this looks like 100 Thieves want to try to scale deep, but look at the nano. Really well placed. Doesn't make a difference, at least not initially. But eventually, they do get stuck as Auspice tees off, find the remaining.
And no fear of just running straight into, playing into the operator.
Ooh. And how about this?
This? Yeah.
Yeah, Auspice sees everything. Plus the reveal at the end, but Xander's able to battle back, and MIBR still holding their ground, kind of a bastion right in front of the A site, and 100 Thieves have been able to at least somewhat counteract this play. Thrash getting spent, Art's in some trouble, but deletes the fish before it can connect. Help is now in the site, or is it? Zenom drops. The Dizzy over the top pulls Artisan back. You do have Cortezia on their way into the site to try to hold on to this, but now if you're looking at this for 100 Thieves, what can you collect on your way back over? And they're not even going to stop to get the Thrash back. They're just going to try to sprint this thing back to B.
3. Look at this. Xander in trouble. He can't cross. It's only going to be the spike being held in Arsenal. And their luck here wasn't in Xander's hands there. But what a call from Artisan to say, look, may find a player rotating. They read the rotation was going to come through. Nano Swarm is even going to prevent the plant as well.
I got you.
Brilliance from the last 2 remaining members of MIBR.
And hope that you can hold on top of the site. You do have a mosh pit to try to give yourself a little bit of space while the Wingman can go for the plant. High Tide going to be called in. Artisan dealt with. Huge. Out of the 1v1. Plant's going to come through. High ground control. Ross, no! And he's able to find the 1v2 clutch. A lot of shared space in between both of these. It looks like 100 Thieves want to try to challenge this. They're going to push on forward for it. Trades are out immediately. Hunter's Fury used to try to counteract the defensive lockdown, which does get destroyed. But Auspice is able to get out. And we'll stay 4v4. The Reckoning is still at the ready, and Artisan is on the way over. Is going to use that immediately just as the Viper's Pit gets called. Artisan following an elimination of their own. But can you keep the integrity of this Viper's Pit going? If you are Xander, here comes the retake around the backside of Yellow. Aspus moving really quickly. As soon as this Nano Storm fades, he's got to try to find some sort of an angle. Double swing likely on the way, but he sees one shoulder. That's Asuna who will drop. The rest of 100 Thieves is trying to have to stand tall around this, and it's just down to Xander. Inside his Viper's Pit, he's being sprayed down and eventually dealt with. MIBR there goes the Wingman. Thrash to try to get some reinforcement. Can it clear out this Viper's Pit? Venom's still alive and well. Cortezia and Auspice connected. Verno puts this round out of question with a double with the Hunter's Fury. Yeah, tough choice here for 100 Thieves.
30 seconds left.
But you got to do something, and it's not going to feel good in the phase of the Viper's Pit, especially against...
Going to shift ourselves over towards B, expecting something over there, but they made the wrong call here, which means that 100 Thieves will have to enter site. Cortezia playing for retake, and a Storm will prevent the plant, though, which is quite nice.
30 seconds
At least up
left.
top. Reckoning, when do you want to spend that? If your Artisan... Auspice still has knives with this operator, looking for an opening pick and connects. And here we go. Reckoning is at the ready, going to be called in, and Auspice is going to get to work. First level towards Cryo taken down. Reveal is also into play on the backside of this post plant. Yeah, and Auspice is just looking to feast and farm. Shorty up and in your face. Xander with the Guardian, the last one standing, and Artisan is going to just hop on for the defuse. No angle there. MIBR, after some tribulation on this map.
Defaulting positions, but their Breach Tail combo is now looking down ramp.
Fault line will come through. EU able to peek behind them, but Verno still able to find the first blood in this engagement. Nobody checks the tight corner though, and the slow orb is so punishing. Just comes down to King to take advantage of it, and EU did not have the salvos out in time, nor can he get away from the chase down at ramp. So MIBR had the numbers advantage, the overheal coming through to get him back to, again, full health until Asada finds the opening pick, and the follow-up for Xander on the crossfire. Now has Verno by himself. The paint shells connect for a good chunk of damage. And this 1v2 is going to be really difficult for Verno, who has been re-read up top at ramps.
30 seconds
Yeah,
left.
his spike is also in main as well, so he's got a lot of work to do. 45 health, but he can't heal himself. Two players that he has to play against. Really, I think failure to check the corner, walking up ramp, did cost an extra life that seemed unnecessary. Spike's combo, Xander spots it. So with time remaining, it has to be an A finish.
10 seconds
All you got to
left.
do is double peek from heaven, and it's a freebie.
Yep. All right. Good opening pistol win coming through, and again, just to kind of keep the focus.
These players just locked into corners.
Yeah, this is tough, though, because if you don't hit these opening shots for 100 Thieves in this back corner, there is so much utility that can just be thrown your direction, and Artisan able to connect. Xander, though, finds two, not able to get the third. Plenty of time for Xander to get the plant down. The salvo's not quite in position to deter this. So we get to the 2v3. Breach Tejo in hand for 100 Thieves, but the weapons that have been collected on site are dangerous to walk into.
Player standing.
And you don't check the close corner. So now it's just down to Boostio. Has just the aftershock left to play with, and has to worry about this opening crossfire setup. And no, not going to work out. A Thrifty comes through for MIBR. 4 from Artisan again.
Yeah, absolutely powerful start. They get to collect some nice weaponry as well. A couple of times now. They want to be able to have a much stronger presence here.
And that's a strong presence. They just completely flood a utility forward, but the burst on through B main comes out. Showstopper up to tower. Doesn't do too much as 100 Thieves stays safe, but now you've got the post-plant utility starting to work its way over, but 100 Thieves are going to try to challenge this before the spike can even get committed for the plant, and then they do tee off really clean. Hard to kind of manage that one as it was just quick action all over the place, but the defense, after showing play at middle...
Re-clearing mid here, MIBR that is, because obviously the mid aggression came on through. They don't want to have a lurking player being found. Speaking of which,
No way.
Holy. Wow, that's three. That's going to be A completely open in for the spike plant.
And that's just not one of those things that you bank on. I mean, MIBR are kind of backing off, looking to put some pressure at middle, and as soon as they show that they're breaking the barrier, over 100 Thieves get a little bit too frisky, trying to re-challenge the outsides of the map. So, good stuff again from Cortezia, just kind of taking what's given to him.
Brucio's tucked in as well. He is in a very one-and-done type of spot here, and he's a little bit of help from...
Oh, okay. How about this from Asada? Up and over, just going all the way to the skybox, but Artisan kind of beats him to the punch by getting into the site, and once again, showing his presence on this raise. It looked like the fault line showstopper combination was going to be punishing, but all of the extra smokes that are down have MIBR in. The heal from Verno will get Artisan back in, and we've got a 4v2.
Look at where the X's are. Look at the 2 blue X's on site itself. Artisan, he defeated the crossfire. Brucio was in the corner. I can't remember which other player was in heaven. But the point is, Artisan, he gets super aggressive, then it pays off massively. So now, 100 Thieves are in such a tough spot.
Wow.
Cryo's the last one alive again, and yep, not even going to win this one versus what MIBR.
Because MIBR really weren't committed to the site. They were just trying to show some pressure up top the tower, which they still, to be fair, have the ability of doing.
I think it's the first time that 100 Thieves have found first blood in many, many rounds now.
Good point. Oh, Cryo trying to get the orb down, not going to work out. Auspice able to follow with knives onto Asuda. So numbers get back to a 3v3. Defense a bit split. EU good timing from the ropes, though, finds the spike carrier. Is it good for any more? No. Trade is immediately there from Jenem. Boostio trying to rewrap on the play.
Ooh.
And now it's just down to one, but it is Auspice with knives.
Yeah, that's really nice from Xander. That actually is going to cause a lot of problems. The good news for Auspice is he has plenty of health, and
Stop it.
using that health, he'll be able to take down Boostio. In fact, Boostio doesn't land a single shot to help out Xander in this now eventual 1 versus 1.
30 seconds left.
And Auspice doesn't even feel pressure to fight. He's just waiting for the peak. He's found the peak, but he doesn't win the duel because he doesn't know. To prevent B as well. Of course, Spike is not there, so uncommitted. Might see a shoulder.
Killer! Blocking vision!
Very nicely played, very nicely
wow.
spotted, but Xander with the trade. You see that Xander was ready for it too, but Xander just a little bit quicker.
Cosmic Divide gonna get called in. Battle for Xenom again comes through. Artisan actually falls to the salvo. We've seen more salvo eliminations than I care to count in the last couple of days. But everything said and done, we've got ourselves a 2v2. And keep your eye on the long wrap from Cortesia. Deep behind the defensive spawn, and with this time on the clock, Verno's just gonna sprint this back over to A. Rez will come through, so we got a 3v2 and another Cosmic Divide that 100 Thieves could use for the retake.
Left.
This is really nicely played by Cortesia. Not just the opportunity to maybe get a shot here, but more importantly, clearing out A to allow the plant to come on through with confidence. This plant will enable Seekers, so double ultimates online for MIBR. However,
Spike planted.
I don't think Cortesia is going to give up his angle because he wants to be able to hold this for a while.
Yeah, for sure.
There will not be a Viper's Pit in play.
And the Seekers will give him the intention of when he needs to rotate back, if at all. First shot, and second not so much though. So now it's just on to one. Verno playing over in towards tower. Maybe here's the ropes. Now the timing here, good, pretty clean on it. Knows that Cross playing from behind him. And the barrier orb, smart play, but it does get instantly deleted. Time gonna be a bit of an issue. Verno checking, holding it to halfway as Cryo. Maybe looking for more. Oh, just as that secondary jiggle comes through. Well, EU inside the site going to be dealing with a lot of pressure. Wow, the flash, the dash, MIBR just breaking ankles inside of A. Cosmic Divide gets called in, but for Cortesia, he's going to use the Vipers to block off screens and most of Elbow. And is able to follow up with one more before Asuna gets the judge into play. That's going to be 2 down. But Auspice able to at least respond with 1. What the hell is that? What is that? Absolutely no way, no how that connects for a headshot. But it's a 1v1. Asuna trying to come around the corner of the Guardian. Opening shot doesn't quite hit. Paint shells off the corner. Does that get Auspice out of position? Gonna let to take a little bit of damage from the Semtex of that paint shell. Asuna thinking he bailed out towards Elbow, but that's not the case. Auspice stays, holds his ground, takes the damage, and wins the round for MIBR.
Second round. That time to EU holding the exact same spot. MIBR not dissuade from making moves on top of A. They've claimed all of him and all the tower, but can they push on through? They get Asuna down. Importantly,
Grenade is live.
Carson on this raise is just a little different.
1 enemy remaining.
And the individual 1v1s continue to be tallied for MIBR into this weakened weaponry for 100 Thieves. Xander, the last one left, 1v3. Would love to find a weapon somewhere, but is going to have to take a 1v1, it looks like, before that could possibly happen. And, yeah, doesn't check the close corner. 8 for the half. MIBR still looking really solid on the offense. The only
and into a 12-3. Struggled a little bit after that. Now let's see if the Thieves can break that instantly on towards A. Full aggression.
And they're going to get control of the site early. Cortesia, though. Oh, good opener. Ramp still largely in control, though, of 100 Thieves. Verno going to read that there's so much action here. Just trying to keep this offensive post plant interesting, because look at Artisan already up through the sewers. Now an opportunity to possibly try to pinch on this. Can you keep them interested? First shot somehow doesn't hit the headshot. Looks like he was perfect for it, but you do have the ability of tossing in a little bit of extra utility to keep this 100 Thieves post plant trapped up top at ramps. But can you win the gunfights needed? Aspas gonna go for the immediate defuse. has a chance to stick for it, but only gets it to halfway before the gravity vortex comes in. Now you can get it back the rest of the way, and the paint shells will not get there in time. The defuse comes through, and scene has a stinger at the ready. 1 for 1 here would be fine. Plays the counter flash, but no, Xander, rifle in hand, able to get the win, and now all of a sudden 100 Thieves are on site.
It's the one big win for 100 Thieves so far. They managed to get themselves on towards A, defeating Artisan in that corner, losing out a player each to the combination of the shotguns. It will be an upgrade there as well. I believe it's probably in Aspas's hands at this point in time for the retake to come on Inverna onto Arsena. Already looking shaky for 100 Thieves, the last two remaining.
Tough scenes for 100 Thieves. Numbers starting to dwindle just a touch. Trying to clear out the site. Both players have been seen around the back. Auspice trying to make his move. Nova Pulse, Gravity Vortex coming in. Auspice good for the first, and then snaps over to the second. Clean shots. Artisan can afford to just go into an outlaw, figuring that 100 Thieves at worst are into this full purchase or forced purchase where they've got light armors. At best, it's going to be pistols with the light. And mercy! The collat before Asuna can jump across with the blast packs plus the follow-up. And it looks like MIBR should be pretty comfortably on to 12.
How about that? 2 bullets, we get 3 kills. That's a bargain. And I am a sucker for a sale here as 100 Thieves right now. I'd all be sold out for the second half. The second map is all but gone. Artisan looking for the ace here. Showstopper in hand. Rip it out, son.
Oh, why not? Doesn't need it.
Let's save this.
Well, the knives are out and then gone immediately. So there's at least something for 100 Thieves to work with here. Zenom, who's been so good on his lonesome over by these outsides of the site, will be mostly trusted to lock down on the choke point at B. Meanwhile, Verdo trying to get aggressive. Oh, wow, he still gets away with one. Cryo not able to answer. So we get a 4v4 early.
The walk down as well. Cortesia walk down. Seekers will spot a couple plays.
Such a good play.
Verdo the advantage. Tell you what, the comeback doesn't look like it's happening at all.
No, that Seekers is literally just for Verno to keep playing on this angle by himself, and now he's got help nearby. And if you get a read of this, if you're Artisan, you're going to pop this showstopper in the corner. Might not even need to because Cortesia comes up through ropes. Oh, help!
Defenders
Somebody
win.
help! It's an absolute massacre. Good old-fashioned beast.
They would like to continue onwards for a little bit more.
My ult's not ready.
Okay, here we go. 100 Thieves going to get the walk down with the double tap in play. It does get broken, though, as they do make their play in towards C-Mate. A little bit of damage has been tallied by Aspas, but it's just going to come down to the retake attempt from MIBR, and keep your eye on number 5 and Artisan. How do they want to try to utilize this breach and the utility to kind of break their way back through? Looks like the stack is largely going to be coming over through garage and the defensive spawn, and here comes the play.
All 5 ready to play on through. Fault line first. Gets a couple. It's Asuna. So clean on the double. Camera catches 3, but is it going to be enough? MIBR don't have it. Numbers. They need more kills. Cortesia unlucky through garage, and just 1 left to go. Flawless, you'd imagine, for 100 Thieves.
Okay.
And free C site, which means MIBR for the full retake with nothing but a hero rifle.
30 seconds left.
And Zenom and Artisan are going to be very late to the party here. They've got some tools to help defend against the lurk with the trap wire in garage plus the spy cam at mid, so you can keep all eyes forward here for MIBR. Final shock dart spent by EU. Owl drone to follow. Enough space to get this into play. Xander, a little bit of an off angle up top. Immediately as the flash comes through, works out perfectly. And MIBR are completely stuck with not really much room to work with here. And this will be a 4th round for 100 Thieves, and it's been a very convincing start at that.
Could cause a couple of problems here a little bit later in the round, but for now, still waiting for the kill contract.
Cryo, timing onto Artisan, and maybe a long lurk through C-Long, but this is taking some time, and all of a sudden MIBR are going to get a little bit of the numbers opportunity to play onto the site itself, but Xander in the corner. EU following up. There is no opportunity for MIBR to get back onto site, and these post plants have been chef's kiss perfect so far. Cyber cages pop for Cortesia to try to stay alive, but the hunt is on. Cortesia gets a second. His job is done.
He's done more than enough for his team. He gets 2 in that situation. Really should not be allowed. Cortesia. What can he allow MIBR to do now in a 4 versus 3? Aspas has the rifle. Xander has been spotted. Fault line coming in. 1 stun. Xander gets him down, but still the rifle on board. Aspas has to show up here. He's not showing up enough, or is he? 2 versus 1, and Aspas has done it.
Clean. Absolutely squeaky clean from Auspice.
Thrifty.
And with this type of setup, you have Auspice back over towards C, but he only has knives to
Man.
play through, which is still decent. Losing Werner this early, at least Werner on previous rounds was able to get his way back on towards A. The scan coming on through. Neuro Theft is going to reveal everything.
But again, like, how do you challenge the site itself, though, when you're this far out? And I just don't think you can. Also not going to be recognized that there could be a potential early flank. Big win here. Cortezia can grab it, and he is able to find the kill. So now you've got a little bit of a split here. 2-2. And Aspas has got the knives. How do you set him up? What tools are available from Artisan? And Aspas will see one down low. Paranoia cuts across the site. That's perfect. Artisan falls in to find another. Just down to can they find the last into EU, and the knives will land. MIBR catch a second. Down through A short, exactly. It's just a camera in the way. And unless Cortezia is in it, Verno's going to be left out to dry. Trying to follow up quickly for a moment as Artisan, but the fault line doesn't hit. Also defines that elimination. 100 Thieves once again will get a free plant on A.
A second time, then Verno just can't quite get it done over on towards A. Didn't have weapon out, walking slowly directly into his death. Didn't quite catch how Xander was getting into position. Likely he actually just TP'd across. Wouldn't be surprised, but no tap on the camera just means not in time to spot it through.
There.
And I think this is going to end up being exits or a seg. You really afford to lose this operator again. Your economy is still so shaky, but yet at the same time, you're 9 rounds deep and it doesn't feel good. Any success, and likely has died a bunch of times too.
Ooh, a couple of information picks over the top of this contingency. Knows that there's an immediate threat immediately on to B. Fast lane out. Auspice just tries to get something for free. It actually does get a bit of a reveal on the cryo, but Xander teleports to the backside of Gong. Paranoia to cut across the site. He's able to find one in the corner, and Xander turns that into a couple. So now it's still a 4v3 situation. Verno trying to hold his ground just outside the A link. And does he ever? Verno for 3. Xander, the last one left. They know exactly where he's at. Nowhere to go. So EU is going to recognize there's a threat, but it's down to how much can Cortezia find before falling. Paranoia does come through, gets into his own cyber cage. Undercut comes out, and Cortezia will drop in. You have to retake. This is Throwing Thunder, and it's just going to be so long before they can even get there.
My ultimate is ready.
Again, Cortezia has been able to enable their retakes twice in the earlier 2 rounds that they won. And this time around, he isn't able to get his one. MIBR, they wanted to make the call to be able to defend A-long properly. It's been a part of the map they just lost so consistently, but now they're 4 versus 5. Rolling Thunder has to get so much work done here.
And the thing about it is it has to cut across the backside of the site, and they don't even get it off. Artisan will fall before he can get both hands up for it. Xander spammed through this dark cover, connects for a second, and 100 Thieves looking good for a 9-3 half. What a difference a day makes for this 100 Thieves offense. And yeah, Cryo. Cryo is 0 for 2 in kill contracts today, but it's
attacking side for 100 Thieves. You've got it. The opportunity now to win Haven. Bring us on map 4. You up first. What's ahead?
I was able to find that spike carrier. Recon bolt to follow up. Austin, it looks like he wants to go aggressively. Oh, and there's just nowhere for Zenom to go. Yeah, just Neon doing Neon things. But MIBR battling back, kind of trapping this play inside a garage. It's an even exchange to a 2v2, but Austin has gotten away. And yep, you can just keep on sprinting, Boostio looking for time to try to find the reprisal back over, but it's Austin who again just kind of rechalls, finds Verno, and it's all down to Aspas. For the 1v2, does get the spike planted, but that's it. 100 Thieves will take the pistol.
That's good. But they're moving across the map. They're going to leave behind 2 lurkers. Austin is gone as well. The peek of the window could cost a potential life here. We'll have to see what happens in terms of that development. Verno's gone now, as mentioned.
Ooh. If there's more shots, Cortezia maybe gets a second, but 100 Thieves still clean up the action over towards Garage and C Long. And now a 4v2. Artisan's going to have the space to be able to get the plant off.
Spike planted.
Also going to go quickly. Does have the overdrive available if he wants it. Still can cook it up with the Phantom as well. Good timing for Xander, able to find Auspice just on the backside of C-Link. And Artisan with a stinger in front of this plant. It's going to have a really tough time trying to stop this from being diffused. As 100 Thieves know exactly where he is. Easy cleanup, easy for the double tap there. Thinking there was going to be a quick hit down long, but not the case. It's a quick action instead. Over to B. Aldrone maybe sees a little bit of this. And Cryo will see the double tap expire, but EU does no wrong. Spamming through the cyber cage, catches one. Also, the timing here is good. Little snap out of the head of Verno. And this may be the last little moment for Haven as Cryo cleaning everything up. As Aspis last one left, who will be zapped in the corner. Flawless round for 100 Thieves, and honestly a flawless map for 100 Thieves. And eventually, as soon as this dark cover fades, there's going to be a bit of a burst here for 100 Thieves. There's the knife. Artisan is connected onto that by it, but no one else will be revealed. And whoop, that's an aggressive peek and one that gets punished. Zenom able to stall things out with the paranoia. Shock dart coming on the side as well, but here's Boostio, and he'll find Verno for free. And this is just a defensive setup that MIBR did not have all their bases covered. So Cortezia up top, nope, not able to do too much. Zenom down low, same could be said for him. And it's just down to Aspas. And well, good luck, have fun 1v4.
Heaven and Hell both covered there. MIBR finding no success from either player. And he'll even catch the suppress. So, gonna go a little bit from bad to worse here. Pick your poison here. Between door and walking all the way around. 100 Thieves. Wasting no time. What was it, 13 and 3 domination we saw on the previous map, and now coming into this one with an opening pistol nicely. Aspas looking for something, and he'll be lucky to get just a couple of kills to make it interesting.
Yeah. Catches one. Asura.
That they didn't have last time.
Yeah. Cortezia in a little bit of trouble. They'll have to worry about two things at once. Artisan pushed back by the fragment. Cortezia drops. So in the sight, we look over towards Verno. How many can he find? The first one's relatively good, still damaged up pretty heavily. Flash to try to assist, but 100 Thieves will find the trade. So Spike is on site, going to go for the immediate plant. And in a 2v4 with Aspas dropping over towards B main, there's no room for Zenom to work with as he backs. So now he can reinforce the site itself while the rest of the MIBR defense rotates over. Paranoia try to hit over through the staircase side, but Cortezia will drop. Aspas a little bit of trouble here, but no! Oh my God! Able to collect the kill on his end and then snap to find the clean headshot onto EU. And MIBR now have numbers onto the site, and 100 Thieves are going to try to back away from B main and reset.
By the way, that's the only gun. He's got a hero rifle. And that hero rifle is delivering on the hero himself. Aspas, you need him to be able to clutch in situations for this team where everyone else just can't take these fights, but he can. And last time, didn't get anything done. Odyssey has a timing here, and only lands one shot.
What?
Drops the spikes. This round is turning around. He's going to get an upgrade here, and a Thrifty confirmed us.
Good timing on the shock dart as soon as the sentry turret activates. Second one going to be thrown in. Nanostorm to try to delay this hit. No command going to be committed here for 100 Thieves, trying to make their way over through sidewalk. Nice opening shot from Verno as his teammate on his left hip falls. Cryo will try to work their way in. Flash just trying to give Verno a little bit of assistance, but the follow-up from Asuda is great. Plenty of time for this plant and a lot of vacancy to make sure this gets down safely. So the post plant for 100 Thieves. Now just down to can they hold off from Aspas, who's already found the first. Reveal onto one more end logs. There's the reset. Up and over. Oh, just barely giving some haircuts, but no. Cannot get to safety backside sidewalk.
Walking their way through mid. Now onto catwalk.
Yeah, Artisan just having a lot of trouble over towards A. Zenom trying to teleport back to safety, has to use both charges to get into bottom side at Hell. Sees the utility from Austin. A good opening headshot onto Zenom. One more down low, and wow, just a little transfer, little spray down works out for another headshot until eventually EU follows up and not able to take care of Verno up top. So it's on to Cryo for the 1v2. No spike and only 30 HP.
I got the spike.
Only good time though. That's the good news. And he's going to go through for the full plant. Not quite actually. Shock slowed that down.
Spike planted.
Clean. Yeah, and that's another one of those moments where
to walk through mid as they have. In fact, they haven't really ever played through mid since the operator's been in play.
Yep, and you just have to respect that. Wow, the timing of that fragment is pretty legendary. Plus, you also get the knife to reveal two more. Offensive fragment being spent. There's the pop flash to try to challenge over towards tree. Cryo will be fallen, and how about that? Just when you start to think that Artisan is going to be...
With Aspas saving at least one of those rounds for them. Back over towards B we go now. The Thieves really want to win this one. Lockdown's already in play.
But the shoulder, that's good seen. Aspas looking for one more, but has to be respectful of the lockdown, but still the first blood is important. No command's going to be used immediately after that. 100 Thieves is going to be stuck on site with no utility. Is there an opportunity for MIBR to crunch on this quickly? They do have 100 Thieves a bit split at the moment, but the null command is going to fade. You still have the deep Hunter's Fury post-plant security, and it's going to be used immediately. Verno already tagged. Cortegia, though, trying to get them to the next. EU's going to double down for a couple of kills, and now MIBR have to just really trust that Auspice can find success with the knives. Flash over the top. Here's EU with the check. Shut down to the 2v2. What can you get from this play on Sidewalk? Cryo in the corner. Auspice has shown himself. Knives may be extended, but Zenom able to find the kill. Now it's just down to the 1v1. Auspice needs to hit the headshot, and he's not going to have time to stick on for the defuse. And Xander will just let the clock milk out, and it'll be a 7-5 half. It does force the nano out. Dark cover to replace the utility over on Sidewalk. And then a recon bolt for Cryo to try to work his way in. One reveal does come through. Boostio still holding in the corner, but Auspice is able to find the first blood. Now it's just down to what else can MIBR produce. Just kind of stuck in no man's land. They're able to find Asuna over towards the defensive screen. So good numbers advantage for MIBR, but a couple of low health pools still has them feeling a bit anxious, and the paranoia might be an opportunity for 100 Thieves to reach Elvis, and so it is.
Wow. Massive paranoia. Xander was the X factor there. Xander still got two, though. A 1 versus 1.
Reveals himself, but also sees Xander on the corner. Aldrone just to scout out whatever it can from inside of A. Sees the shoulder of the KO, and also Xander at the backside of the site. Auspice, yeah, good patience. Able to take down Asuna for the first. Cryo trying to work his way back up towards heaven. And there's that operator already ringing out for a first. EU on the cross through tree. Good with the Guardian. 3v3 situation. Spike making its way on and finally committing for a bit of a plant while the broken door at tree may provide another angle for Cryo.
Trying to slowly swing through this one. Boostio, no weaponry though. That could be a problem. Auspice is still watching heaven and will collect. Now down to only 2. This operator.
Bruno not really sure how he wanted to play that recon bolt. Gets punished around. And now Cryo stuck, got a crossfire setup, and they just swing together, and it's Auspice.
Faking, it looks like it is, but it hasn't been solid. Cryo is still holding his angle. He's been smoked out a little bit, but he can walk through the smoke, and he has.
And that's really, really solid from Cryo. You get an ability to set up Boostio for, yep, his position at once. Works out absolutely beautifully, and that's the issue with MIBR. And how about that Boostio getting aggressive, trying to see if he can catch Cortesia by surprise. Really good shock dart, still lands though, and it has him down to just 24 HP. But that is the issue. Like, you get a little bit of a pressure. Is there any sort of response here for 100 Thieves? Can they find a way to stall out this hit? All the utility about to come back to life as this null command is about to finish. And Boostio gets a reveal and turns that into 1, maybe even more, but the spam that hits is enough to take him out of the picture. So 4v4, Auspice trying to make his way into sight. Whoa, Zenom actually committed from the shadows there. And that's going to be enough for him to be taken out of the picture, or maybe he just teleported on from the shadows, came on the other direction from Xander. Kind of hard to tell because both elements were teleporting at the same time. And MIBR will just default to rotating back into A, which is vacant for this 2v2.
I can confirm it was Xander using his ultimate there. It was just a regular TP coming through from Zenom, but punished in either case. Rotation from MIBR, locking them into place. Able to plant now over towards A to maybe recover this round a little bit. Things are very tricky. 2 versus 2. Low health, unfortunately, for Cortesia.
Knife deployed. 1 suppressed.
The knife only reveals 1 though. Sentry turret deleted. Cortesia is just going to be playing on top of the site. The idea would be to double drop and try to isolate this player into hell. Teleport over. And Cortesia gets the perfect read onto it. And now it's just down to what can to find over towards the outside corner of the site. 100 Thieves are going to sweat this too much. I mean, you got the information with that pick from Cryo that there's no one else at B main, so you're going to read that this is a bit of a fake. Now, they do commit from the shadows into the B site, but the spike is not here. And now Artisan on the other side is trying to cause a distraction, but as he drops, the defense...
Distraction worked.
Well, I don't know if it really has, because they're not fully on site yet, and there's still a lockdown that 100 Thieves can use, which is going to trap all 3 of these members of MIBR on the site. Unless Cortesia can do this. Block out some space at mid. Hunter's Fury earned after the plant being spent. Does it land? Yes, it gets a little bit more damage onto Asuna, who does get finished by Auspice. And this back and forth, this tug of war between both sides of the map is causing a lot of problems for 100 Thieves as they get the lockdown in.
Well, the issue with using the Hunter's Fury at that time is that now you can't counter the lockdown being played. Auspice wanted the angle. If he destroys that lockdown, could have been a different story.
The show of utility from the KO, but doesn't really fully work. It looked like they were trying to get everyone to rotate, yeah, through Cortezia and
30
through
seconds
Auspic's
left.
direction. So now again, you're going to have the from the
Have to
shadows. Xander's able to get into the back like he had prior. Cortezia flashed and dealt with quickly. Verno trying to follow up. Really good shock dart. Doesn't hit. Looked like it was right on top of him, but not the case. And MIBR just have to try to force this one in. Shorty works for EU.
Spike down,
Aspis will have to find these kills and collect the spike. Not a lot of time to do that, though.
I got the
It's going to have to be down to if they can find the kills. Aspis, does he get that down in time? Oh, it's going to be really tight. And no, he doesn't get it down in time. Ah, one of those moments you wish you had a replay.
100 Thieves up now to 12. Operator as well got that initial kill. That
Here we go.
really disgusting hip shot.
Oh, quick
things
action. Alarm bot does come through. Suppression in the mix as well. So Auspis has to really kind of hold his ground here until he can get the knives back out. Nano Swarm blocking a little bit. Good patience and
Again.
triggered his one from
Again.
Cryo. Doesn't like the look of the first one. Finds the second. And Boostio shuts down Auspis over towards Sidewalk. Artisan trying to hold on to mid-market on the stairs. Zenom trying to follow up with him into this 3v4. And he doesn't check the close corner. EU catches one
down,
outside the dark cover. He
One
knows
enemy
Cortezia is
remaining.
nearby. The last hope here for MIBR. And yeah, he's completely stuck. Shock dart, paranoia, everything being thrown his way. And it looks like 100 Thieves will get us to map number 5. 13-10, the reverse sweep on the cards. Auspis with those spam share of shots, but it's not going to stop MIBR from going quickly right on in. Flash over the top, knife also part of it, but Cryo staying safe from a lot of it is on the Nebula, but not able to stay. I don't know how Auspis, who's on 50 health, can come away with both those opening eliminations, but it works nonetheless, and Artisan can get to work on the plant for a 3v5.
A difficult 3v5 here as well. Luckily, there are 2 low members on MIBR to work through. But look at this post plant as well. Plenty members playing super far off site. Turret to spot any potential flank. There's not going to be one, but they're careful of it.
Whoa. Salvo damage is significant though in the back halls. 100 Thieves will clear it. And this plant is not exactly in the safest of spots to watch this from the back side of B-Man. You have to watch it from pillar, and okay, that'll work out. Just shoulders from Verno. As soon as a toggle comes through, everyone's channeling at the same time, and MIBR's post plant apped out early for 100 Thieves. A stealth drone through middle. Not going to reveal anything, but it allows Xander in particular to stay pretty safe at A main. And for MIBR, this is feeling almost like Icebox-esque, where we're just going to use the same exact stuff to get on over to this B site. Different look though with a little bit of a split hit through mid, but Boostio there to meet it finds both members, and MIBR have been pushed off from this bonus through B main.
There we go. Boostio showing up when he needs to. Also long on the flank coming through as well as a little bit more. Yeah, Xander gets the
One
peek out.
enemy remaining. Long.
That works.
Easy.
All right, so no bonus for MIBR. Flawless round for 100 Thieves to get there.
Link Prowlers for information.
I don't know how much of that sees. Special delivery out. Salvos to follow. 100 Thieves is trying to get out of this position at ARP, but the reveal on the counter side of that is perfect. Auspis gets 2. Now the burst on towards sight. And Boostio's nowhere to be seen, so it has to be on the crowd to hit the first, and he does, but he cannot get away. Artisan able to find the follow-up eliminations, and MIBR will have what should surely be a 3rd round here.
And mostly that just came down to the fact that 100 Thieves had no control on towards mid at all. Heavily stacking across the sites. Cryo pushing up over towards B gate.
Now, Prowler doesn't really see too much, but this walk-up, yep, is going to have to be using the null command just to try to gain a little bit of space and a little bit of freedom to move forward. This lurk battle, though, immensely important. Boostio and Cortezia opening shots better for Cortezia. Now back over to the site we go. Cryo, Asuna on top of the site, doing what they can do, and while they're doing it good, it's one of those things where it's just look over this direction, look over here, little sleight of hand.
Spike is
30
wrapping back
seconds
over
left.
towards A, but 100 Thieves are not convinced. They've heavily now committed onto A, which is the correct play.
Yeah, I think MIBR, we're trying to bait out that Armageddon instead. It's going to be saved and now utilized over towards Art. Nightfall going to follow with that. Cryo hits the opener. Verno responds. 3v4 on this side as everyone is muted up for MIBR from that Nightfall. Cryo still holding on the backside of the site as Verno gets to work on the plant. The Salvos, though,
10
in such a
seconds
good
left.
position. And as the spike carrier will drop, now it's onto a 2v2, but the gunfights will be the one that determines the outcome of the round. Cortezia takes one off. Onto the
You are
operator.
divided.
Conza Divide is out. Cryo backing away. Has a dimensional drift if he needs to try to find a way to scout this out. If there's going to be some sort of a contest either on this plant or in the post plant, but Cryo hits the first, can't get away though. Too much trap. in play. Busio follows up, and what a snap that is for a second onto Zenom. And not even done, he finds more than that to just get space through Art. So Cortezia, no, not gonna happen. Busio catches his third, and it all rests on Verno for the 1v4, and he's outside the site.
And Busio has been so clean in multiple of these rounds. Guns finally on board for 100 Thieves. They'll be able to also collect the operator again after Cryo delivered on that.
Still waiting.
Verno has really nothing to do in this particular round now. MIBR certainly have money, but they can't really do much to win this round. Final 1v1 just to make things interesting. Utility around those areas and preventing them from losing on that side of the map.
Oh, that's big though. He used it to get the haunt off before that ult command gets spent. The fragment in the corner really doesn't do too much. And honestly, MIBR a little bit late to the party. And yeah, you can see it. Artisan's gonna fall, trades back and forth. Pitch truck goes to kill feed. Cryo connects though for 2. And it just leaves Cortezia by himself. And there's nowhere to go. Busio really stepping up here in map.
Off. They're transferring into Cryo's line of sight again. Will they get away with it? No, not even close.
Yep, and then the second gate crash to get back to safety. So 5v4. And they're still stuck behind this Nebula. Nanostorm to follow. Busio stepping up into that. It's a considerable amount of damage he just took, but you hold the angle. And MIBR with 40 seconds remaining just gonna have to force something here. Zenom getting to work placing stars. Little double swing opportunity here, and that's actually really well followed up on for Artisan. So 4v3, make it now
30 seconds left.
as Cortezia connects onto another, and then you've got an ability to just use the pivot point of Auspice through mid to get over to B.
Yep.
So this is going to be a plant situation here. 4v3 Rose plant.
The whole time, and by the way, because Auspice was able to essentially just walk through and entirely clear everything. He's killed the Nanoswarm there as well, so it will just be a free plant. And will the salvos do anything here?
Not quite.
Oh. You have to imagine Drift potentially on board.
Yeah, you need to feel out where this post plant is, and there it is. Get information on Cortezia. Special delivery avoided. A couple of spam shots up top. Also able to find the first, though it's on to Auspice and then another. And now it's just down to Cortezia. What can he do from the backside of Halls? Sees the decoy, avoids it. Other follow-up, hits a body shot. Does he know that Auspice on the corner here? All the shorty shots missed, though. Gives an opportunity for Zenom for the 1v1. EU, low on health. The Stinger can pack a punch from this range. Now to the classic. Oh, he whiffs it. Absolutely whiffs it. The timing is going to be really tight as well, but I believe he has it, and yes, he does. Down. Knowing that the Tejo is that far away. I'm going to call the lockdown to see if you can get some space. That is a really good nightfall to try to slow this down, though. Can Busio find some timing? He's going to take a lot of chip damage to be detained, but can he stay safe in the corner? Armageddon trying to keep him alive. And yes, Busio is still up and ready. Now trying to shake off the detainment. Are they going to expect him to be this close? Well, Cortezia at least puts the punish in, but it may not make much of a difference. 12 seconds on the clock. 100 Thieves now here with numbers, and they're going to close the half 7-5, only dropping 1. Well, behind this gate crash and these stars, there's going to be a chance to get a little bit deeper into sight. Haunt for the defense, try to stave this off, but the gate crash does get utilized to get Hall's control. Busio looking for something on connector, able to see a couple of the shoulders. Sees is in play, not affecting the MIBR defense, but enough space for Asuna to get the plant.
Full retake situation now, low HP onto Cortezia as well. Uncomfortable as the high ground here. Asuna falling off the angle slightly, playing off-site. Anzin up first.
The knife gets deleted early. And MIBR is still trying to find some sort of an opening angle. And keep your eye on the post plant. Asuna is all the way back towards pillar. So this has to be clean. And initially it's just even trades back and forth. 2v2 situation. Cryo still holding on to the backside of Halls. Has the ability to gate crash back towards safety. Salvo out to stop the defuse for now. And then eventually Asuna, who had stayed tucked in towards pillar the entirety of the round, finishes things off, and 100 Thieves take the pistol in the second half. Generally so, but MIBR are going to step up and see if they can contest the play through B main first. Look at the deep star placement though from 100 Thieves to try to block off tower. There's actually nobody there though. So can this forward defense actually hold? And so far, yes they can, but EU pulls this back, leaving Auspice on the site by himself. Help on the way as Verno makes his way quickly over, but the plant will come through. 2v3. EU stepping up but shut down. Leaves now just 1. And there's nowhere for Asuna to go. So MIBR commit to playing on top of the site. They avoid a lot of that deep. So it just comes down to, can they deny a staging point for this 100 Thieves offense. That Prowler through mid maybe sees one, but
Who's next?
here we go. Dimensional drift through Art. Xander for a first blood on the Zenom. That is massive. Just no smokes available now for MIBR. Artisan just trying to stand tall on the site, able to take down one. That gets us back to a 4v4. Cryo exits the drift. Asuna working on the plant. We're going to get a 4v4 post-plant setup.
All coming through from the spawn though. Mid has been held by Busio. This is still a really, really decent post-plant situation. Zenom once again, he's just not able to find anything. First death, still one kill is only what he'll get.
Yeah, Cryo on this advanced angle, able to find one more, even while at low HP. Eventually overwhelmed MIBR, so they move quickly, though the post plant has exited over towards Art. Asuna the one on the corner. Nanostorm denied. You still have a star in place here as well for a Gravity Vortex, so the likelihood of MIBR even getting this to half, very, very
Almost
low.
two.
Cortezia trying to jump onto it. There's the Gravity Vortex to pull them off, and there's just not going to be time here with the salvos in the mix. MIBR trying to escape from the spike detonation, but 100 Thieves will get the double digits.
I mean, the perfect players alive, 100 Thieves. How many MIBR members are walking down into mid here? They really want Busio down. Are they going to be able to spot him? Oh, that is good information.
Oh, but
A couple of
Aspas-
kills though. Oh my god.
I was about to say, and well, the sentry turret, okay. That's a way to do it, but I was about to say, like, this is a bonus kind of hero rifle for Auspice, and he just stays behind the heady, be long, and trying to make sure that 100 Thieves are trying to rush forward. They don't get the full check. Now the null command is spent, but EU, good contact position for
30
him.
seconds left.
Can they stop Artisan from coming back to life? They're still baiting him.
Oh,
EU, a chance at it. The one,
isolation.
but Verno hits the shot to the low health pool member.
Right here, he's surely seeing players. Okay, never mind. He's inside of a smoke. That would make more sense.
Prowler to follow, though. Focused Auspice, who's going to be in some trouble. Nightfall going to be called in. Auspice trying to step up, and he's good for a couple. Make it three, just locking down headshots.
One enemy remaining.
Now up and over the Nebula, trying to find Busio. He knows he's in there somewhere, but the spike is down in the round, likely with that
30
over.
seconds left.
And MIBR behind the knives of Auspice and the Nightfall, likely to get to 8 without much cause for concern. Busio trying to find one more, but instead it's going to be a flawless round for MIBR.
Who's next?
Just a Nebula pullback, a temporary smoke comes out. Auspice feeling the pressure, sees a leg of EU. Dimensional drift clears this all out, though, and yeah, 100 Thieves are very aware that that operator is in play, but Cryo, with the Cosmic Divide out, will clear out B halls. Spike will make its way on. Lockdown as a response. You also have a dimensional, or going to be a Cosmic Divide of your own if you're MIBR. How do you want to spend it?
Also, look at the two flankers as well. Need to buy a little bit of time for them to come on through. Nightfall coming in from 100 Thieves.
Pressure's on. Cryo does get detained. Here comes the player on the back. Cortez is going to go ahead and hit for the defuse. Is there enough opportunity? Busio with the knife. Now he's got a lockdown of his own. And MIBR may have missed the timing on this. Zenom trying to defuse from the other side. We're continuing to hack and slash. And there's going to be 100 Thieves behind the knife of Busio. He's going to catch 2 with it. And 100 Thieves will get the 12. The walk down going to be pretty decent here. Salvos are out. Artisan gonna be in some trouble. Auspice hits the decoy with the first shot. Nebula blocks the line of sight. The Nanostorms are in position. Cryo trying to play around the back. Not gonna get the shot as Auspice. Cortezia only able to find one. And here we go. 2v4. You're gonna have the Nightfall. Verno trying to work this with Zenom, who's had a bad map. Not the worst time to find kills, though, as the Armageddon is called out over towards mid.
Find you.
Pawn in. Here comes Zenom for the first contact. Finds his first. Is there a chance for more? Zenom stepping up in a major way, but can he find all 4? No!
Attackers
It's Xander to get the final 2, and 100 Thieves will reverse sweep for the 4th and final spot at the Esports World Cup.